Are you ready to hit the road into the unknown? Tonight we delve into 3 true chilling road trip horror stories that will make you think twice about your next journey. Buckle up, turn off the lights, and hold on tight as we navigate the dark roads where fear takes the wheel. Remember, every mile marker can lead to a terrifying tale, and tonight, these stories are our unsettling roadmap. Imagine this: a starless night, a lonely highway, and the unsettling feeling of being watched. The kind of night where shadows seem to move on their own, and every sound is amplified by the silence. This is where our first story begins, a chilling tale recounted by a group of friends on a road trip. A journey that was supposed to be filled with laughter and adventure, but turned into something far more sinister. 4 friends fresh out of college, eager to escape the city, packed their car and set off into the night. They were excited, filled with the promise of freedom and the open road ahead. As the miles ticked away, the landscape transformed from bustling cityscapes to desolate stretches of highway. The bright lights of the city faded, replaced by the eerie glow of the moon. It was during one such stretch that they first noticed it, a lone figure standing by the roadside, a silhouette against the darkness, barely visible but unmistakably there. At first it seemed like a hitchhiker, but something about the figure sent a shiver down their spines. It was as if the darkness itself had taken form. The driver, Mark, slowed down, his instinct to help battling with unease. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. "Mark, should we give them a lift?" The group exchanged uneasy glances, each of them feeling the same sense of dread. "Emily, I don't know, man. It's creepy. We're in the middle of nowhere." Despite their apprehension, they rolled down the window, hoping to get a better look. "Mark, hey there, need a ride?" The figure remained motionless, its features obscured by the darkness. It was as if it was waiting for something. "Emily, hello, can we help you?" Still, the figure didn't move. The longer they sat there, the more intense the unsettling feeling became. It was as if time itself had stopped. "Sarah, let's just go. This feels wrong." Mark hesitated, then nodded. As they pulled away, the figure remained rooted to the spot, watching them leave. Miles turned into what felt like hours, the silence in the car thick with unspoken fear, each of them lost in their own thoughts, trying to make sense of what they had seen. Suddenly their headlights flickered, the engine sputtering, and the car lurched to a halt. Panic set in as they realized they were stranded. "Ben, what's happening, Mark? I don't know, we're stranded." Fear gnawed at their minds. Then they noticed the figure again, standing in the middle of the road, closer this time. Terror choked their voices. The figure began to walk towards them, its movements slow and deliberate, as if savoring their fear. The friends were trapped, their car a metal cage, in the face of this unknown terror. There was nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The figure drew closer, its features becoming visible. Its eyes, wide and vacant, stared straight through them, devoid of any emotion. Just as the figure reached the car, the headlights flickered back to life. Mark slammed his foot on the accelerator, roaring back into the night, desperate to escape. They didn't stop driving until they reached a well-lit gas station. The safety of the lights was a welcome relief. They never spoke of that night again, but the memory of the figure on the road remained, a haunting reminder of the darkness that lurks on lonely highways. It was a story they would carry with them forever. Sometimes the road less traveled is best left untraveled. For on such roads the unknown waits, watching and waiting for its next encounter. Our next tale takes us on a solitary journey, a reminder that even the bravest souls can fall prey to the darkness beneath a friendly facade. It's a chilling story that will make you think twice before offering a ride to a stranger. This is the story of Sarah, and a chance encounter with a hitchhiker that would forever scar her soul, leaving her with memories she would never be able to erase. Sarah, a budding photographer, was on a cross-country road trip, her camera her constant companion. She was capturing the beauty of the open road, the landscapes, and the people she met along the way. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, she spotted a lone figure by the side of the road, thumb outstretched, looking for a ride. Pulling over, she greeted the hitchhiker, a young man with kind eyes and a disarming smile. His presence seemed harmless, almost comforting. "Sarah, hey there, need a lift?" "David, that would be amazing, thank you so much." As he settled into the passenger seat, he introduced himself as David, heading north to meet his family. His story seemed genuine and his demeanor was gentle. Sarah, drawn to his gentle demeanor, found herself easily engaging in conversation. They talked about their lives, their dreams, and the places they had been. As darkness descended, Sarah suggested they stop for the night at a roadside motel. The road ahead was long, and she felt it was safer to rest. David readily agreed, expressing his gratitude. He seemed relieved to have found a place to stay for the night. The motel, a faded testament to a bygone era, stood alone on the edge of a desolate stretch of highway. Its eerie appearance sent a shiver down Sarah's spine. Despite the unsettling atmosphere, Sarah couldn't shake off the feeling that something wasn't right. The shadows seemed to move, and the silence was deafening. "David, don't worry, we're safe here." His touch sent a jolt of fear through her. It was cold, unnaturally so, and it made her skin crawl. She excused herself to her room, her mind racing with thoughts of what could be wrong. She tried to calm herself, but the feeling of dread was overwhelming. Inside, she tried to rationalize her fear, but the feeling of dread persisted. She told herself it was just her imagination, but deep down, she knew something was off. She had been photographing David throughout their journey. What if those photographs revealed something more sinister? She had to know. With trembling hands, she scrolled through the images on her camera. Each click of the button echoed in the silent room. The first few pictures showed David as she remembered him, but as she scrolled further, a chill ran down her spine. The images began to change. The more recent images were different. David's eyes, once warm, now seemed cold and predatory. They bore into her soul, revealing a darkness she hadn't seen before. His skin, once tanned, now had a sickly pallor. It was as if the life had been drained from him, leaving behind a hollow shell. Terror clawed at her throat. She had to get out. She couldn't stay another moment in that room, with those images haunting her. As she fumbled with the lock on the door, she heard a soft scratching sound from the other side. It was faint at first, but it grew louder. Her blood ran cold. The scratching grew louder, followed by a low, guttural growl. It was a sound she had never heard before, and it filled her with dread. She backed away, her hand trembling as she reached for her phone, but it slipped from her grasp. Panic set in as she realized she was trapped. The doorknob rattled violently. Just when she thought all hope was lost, a blinding light filled the room. It was so bright, it was almost blinding. The door burst open, revealing a truck driver who had seen her car and decided to check in. His timing couldn't have been more perfect. He took one look at her terrified face and the broken door and knew something was wrong. He didn't ask questions, he just acted. Without a word, he ushered her out of the room. She didn't look back, afraid of what she might see. They didn't stop driving until they reached the safety of the next town. The relief was overwhelming, but the fear still lingered. Sarah never saw David again, but his chilling image, forever frozen in her photographs, served as a constant reminder of the night she escaped a monster. Those photographs were a testament to the darkness that can hide behind a friendly face. Our final tale takes us on a detour from the beaten path. A chilling reminder that some roads are best left untraveled, especially when night falls and shadows grow long. This is the story of the Thompson family, and their terrifying encounter with the ghosts of a forgotten town, a place that time itself seemed to have abandoned. The Thompsons, a family of 4, were on a quest to visit every national park in the country, a journey filled with adventure and discovery. They were on their way to Redwood National Park, their GPS guiding them along scenic back roads promising a picturesque route. As they ventured deeper into California, the landscape transformed from rolling hills to dense forests, the trees growing taller and the air becoming cooler. The GPS signal became spotty, leading them further off the beaten path, into the unknown. The sun began its descent, casting long shadows through the trees, creating an eerie atmosphere. "Susan, are you sure this is the right way, honey?" Her voice tinged with worry. "John, "Don't worry, it's just a shortcut. We'll be there soon." He tried to reassure her, though doubt lingered in his mind. But the shortcut proved to be anything but, leading them deeper into the unknown. The paved road gave way to a gravel path, the sound of tires crunching on gravel filling the silence. As dusk settled in, they stumbled upon a sign that read, "Welcome to Silent Hollow," a name that sent chills down their spines. The town itself was a ghost town, a collection of dilapidated buildings, remnants of a once thriving community. The silence was deafening, broken only by the sound of their own breathing and the occasional rustle of leaves. "Emily, what is this place, Dad?" Her voice trembled with fear. "John, it looks like an old ghost town, sweetheart. Let's see if we can find our way out of here." He tried to sound confident, but as they ventured deeper, they realized escape wouldn't be so easy. The town seemed to trap them in its eerie embrace. The road seemed to twist and turn, leading them in circles, a labyrinth with no exit. The GPS signal vanished completely, leaving them without guidance. As they rounded a bend, they were met with a sight that made their blood run cold. A figure standing in the middle of the road. Standing in the middle of the road was a woman, her long black hair cascading down her back, obscuring her face. She wore a long white dress, stained with what looked like blood, a haunting sight. Her face was pale and gaunt, her eyes hollow sockets devoid of life. The figure raised a hand pointing towards a building at the edge of town, a silent command. Then, as quickly as she had appeared, the figure vanished, leaving them in stunned silence. "John, we need to get out of here. I think we should see what's in that building." His voice was firm, masking his fear. The family, their fear overshadowed by a desperate need to escape, agreed, their steps hesitant. They cautiously made their way towards the building, realizing it was an old church, its doors creaking open. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of decay, a musty odor that clung to their clothes. The walls were adorned with strange symbols, markings that seemed to tell a forgotten story. At the altar lay the woman from the road, her eyes now open, staring up at the ceiling, a silent witness to their arrival. The Thompson family was never seen again, their fate a mystery that haunts the town. Some say their screams can still be heard echoing through the empty streets of Silent Hollow, a chilling reminder of their final journey. These roads have stories buried within them. Always stay alert and never travel alone in the unknown. Until next time, keep watching and stay scared.